Check one. Check, check, check one. One. Check, check.
Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is the Night Brothers Show. We're live from the Annpolis Juneteenth celebration, and we have the honor of having as our special guest right now our county executive, Mr. Steuart Pittman. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yes,
Good to have
indeed.
you.
Welcome,
Good to have
welcome.
you.
It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, indeed.
And county executive Pittman, right out of the gate, I'm just going to ask this as we go forward. How was the county's collaboration with this event so eventful and so powerful for the county government? Could you explain to what your involvement?
Well, the first year,
Yeah.
it was, I think it was the money.
Yes.
I mean, we cut a check for $25,000 to help get
Wow.
started.
Wow.
And again the next year. And they were struggling. I mean, they had a big vision.
Yes.
And I don't know, there aren't many events in this town this big.
Yes.
And everybody was shocked they pulled it off. It was like magic.
Yes.
And I guess, I felt pretty strongly about celebrating Juneteenth, and some of my staff did too.
Yes.
And never understood why it wasn't celebrated more
Right.
broadly and widely. And I mean, this is what defined America.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
the institution of slavery. I mean, this country was built
On
by
slavery.
people who were enslaved, and this state and this county and this city were.
Without question.
And here we are trying to sort of pretend it never happened. So,
Yes. Yes. Well, my brother has a question for you as well.
No, I definitely appreciate that, indeed. Thank you for your investment in the community and in history, where in this time with history being kind of shunned, so to speak, the truth. But so what does it mean, like personally to you, as far as Juneteenth? What did you? Well, let me ask you this: was Juneteenth taught when you went to school?
I don't think so. I don't remember when I first heard the word.
Right.
And probably when I first heard it, I didn't even know what it was.
Right.
So it was pretty recent, and that it came back. So for me, though, when I became county executive, I knew that we needed to tell the history of the Black experience in this place, in this
Yes.
county. It's Annapolis. It goes from Baltimore down into southern Maryland,
Right.
along the Chesapeake Bay, and I'm from here,
Okay.
8 generations.
All right.
So I have ancestors that enslaved people that built their
Their wealth. Yes.
their wealth, and off of tobacco.
Okay.
Tobacco
Yeah, definitely.
plant-
Big.
Yeah.
Well,
And so I mean, I've never known. I mean, I've always felt uncomfortable about that, right?
Right.
And I have sisters and brothers that feel that way too, trying to figure out what does that mean? What
Right.
can we do? Should we be doing some kind of reparations, or what is it? But if you're in a position like county executive and you do the budget,
Yes.
you know just what to do.
Right.
It's housing, it's jobs,
That's
it's fixing some of the wrongs that resulted from
yes.
Right.
slavery.
Systemic. Yes. Indeed.
Well, County Executive Pittman, Anne Arundel County is a very diverse county, politically, ethnic, through different races and everything else. And I know that you're the county executive who governs everyone. You try to treat everybody the same. How important is it for you to make sure that all your constituents know that you're there for everybody, no matter whether they're Republican, Democrat, Black, white, Latino, it doesn't matter, that you represent the entire county and continue to do so?
It is, and we are sort of a microcosm of America.
Yes.
Demographically and also politically, we're
Yes.
purple.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
the first
indeed.
Democrat
Mixed
county
bag.
executive
Yeah.
in a long time.
Yeah.
We're turning more blue.
Yes.
The party that I ran against and that
Mhm.
ran against me for re-election
Yes.
was trying to divide people. They were
Yeah.
definitely trying
Yes.
to divide Latino people from white people.
Yes.
And they were trying to divide Black people from white
Latino-
people.
yeah, yes.
And anybody and using that wedge was something that our democracy, our future depends on pushing back against those wedges
Yes.
and bringing people together. And so you're right. When we do something that some people might call progressive, or something even like Juneteenth,
Uh-huh.
it's like, yeah, it's for everybody. Welcome everybody. And
Right.
there's a lot of white folks here.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
It should be.
And everybody wants to look back. Everybody wants to know their own heritage,
Correct.
and where they came from.
Yes.
And so you can't even think about denying that to one group of people. And let's look at the facts of the heritage, though.
Totally without question.
Every country, I mean, go to Germany. You know, they're not proud of Hitler.
That's true.
They're trying to overcome that history,
Right.
but they tell it. You know,
Yeah, because
They
you have to tell the truth, so people don't fall for the same thing.
Yeah.
History, you know, they say that it repeats, kind of sometimes rhymes.
Yeah.
But if you know the history, you can see things coming.
Yeah.
And when you don't, it's
Yeah.
easy to fool because somebody else that looked
Yeah.
at that history can
Yeah.
implement the same plan.
Yeah.
But
Go
I
ahead.
think that's very important.
Yeah,
indeed.
and everybody, you know, I believe in people coming together. That means organizing. That means
Yes.
empowering.
And
Whether
talking.
it's in the workplace for a
Yes.
labor union, or whether it's a community organization, or whether it's NAACP or whatever it is, organizing, and then
Yes.
talking to other groups too.
Yes.
So,
So let me ask you, like, in this year coming and in the future, what do you see are key components in bringing people together in this community and pushing Annapolis forward?
you know, we created an Office of Equity and Human Rights.
Oh, wow. That's
And
awesome.
we started out with one position. Then
Yes,
we did
yes.
another. Now it's an office. There's going to be 4 positions that are in this budget. And they're working in every department of county government to make sure that there's inclusion.
Yes.
So not just diversity,
Indeed.
but folks who are there feeling like they're welcome and
Mhm.
at the table and part of the decision making, and equity, so that if we know that some folks don't have opportunity for some reason, then we have to address that.
Yes.
It's not that you treat everybody necessarily the same. So the opportunity gap in our schools is called the achievement gap. We have a commission of school board and county working together to address the disparities in outcomes in school. We have a new superintendent who's very good at that
Yes,
too.
yes. He's
And
going to
so-
be our guest
Good.
very, very
Yeah,
soon.
Dr. Bedell.
Spoke to him. Dr. Bedell is a great
Yeah.
guy. Yes.
And so,
Yes.
so we are moving forward on education.
Beautiful.
We're finally moving on affordable housing.
Yes.
You can't afford to live here if you don't
Mhm.
make a whole lot of
Yes,
money.
yes.
Our business can't survive if they don't have a workforce.
Exactly.
And so,
exactly.
we got a new housing trust fund that we're doing, and we're going to do a requirement where developers for new development have a certain percentage has to be affordable.
Okay.
And we got to create transit for people who don't have cars. And so not everybody driving a
Yeah,
car.
that's
true.
we
Indeed.
got too
No
much
question.
traffic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because
Well-
and realistically, that's
and
something to
yeah.
work on.
and everybody benefits from all those things.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
We're going to wind it up with a final question for you. And this is a broad question, and perhaps you have an answer, maybe you don't. But with so much divisiveness in the political scene right now, you know, and you know what's going on here nationally and even sometimes locally, that it seems like there's more division now, more so than ever, between not only races but between
Parties.
also political parties. How is it, and what would it take to bring us back together? Because we're, after all, this is still America, and this is still our country, and we still all want the same things.
Yeah.
What do you see as a solution to bringing us all back together again, or getting us back to where we used to be?
And I know it's tough being one
And
side.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He
Yeah.
trying to reach out. Yes.
Yeah, but I think you can't always react to
Yes,
that's true.
the other side.
Yes.
Instead, just try to go to the commonalities
Yes.
and talk about those. So when I ran for re-election, I said, look, government is about the local institutions. It's about the school system. It's a fire department, the police department, public works, all that stuff.
Yes.
And everybody agrees we need to support those
Yeah.
institutions.
That's true.
And so there were some who wanted to shrink government, some who we wanted people to appreciate government because it is for everybody.
Yes.
That's not a divisive message at
No,
all.
not
Not
at
at
all.
all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Yeah, and so we just got to have those inclusive messages that are
Indeed.
things people agree on, and then you also got to say, you got to call it out sometimes.
Yes.
When-
Yeah,
absolutely.
When,
absolutely.
when it's just
No
not, it's not true.
yeah.
When
Right.
stuff ain't true, you just got to call
You
it out.
got to call
Well,
it
we
out.
want to
You're
introduce
absolutely right.
someone who you're very familiar with here. Would you introduce her if you would?
Yeah, Tiana Parker. She works with us in constituent services, and she's a local girl. In fact, I think she says she's related to almost everybody in Annapolis.
Everybody.
Yes.
That's what it seems like.
What's your role? What exactly is your role?
So I am a community engagement officer. I represent regions 4, 6, and 7, which is Annapolis, some parts of Edgewater, Severna Park, Pasadena. And what I really do is I'm like a liaison between the community and the government. And whatever it is that he has in pursuit, we make sure that his message goes across, and we help everybody to make sure that their voice is heard. And I'm absolutely honored and proud, and I'm having a great time working with him. We have a good time. Yes, for sure. So thank you guys for having me.
No,
I don't
thank
want to
you.
take up too much
No,
of the,
you fine. You're
Well, thank
fine.
you so much.
Definitely
We're glad to
appreciate
have
it.
you on.
You're where the rubber meets
County
the road.
Executive
Get a glue.
Pittman, we're so glad to have you on. We'd like to have you on our show sometime,
I'd
our
love to
full
come
show,
back.
the
Yeah.
Night Brothers show. We do a show every Tuesday night, and we'd like to have you as a special guest.
I'll be there.
And maybe we'll
appreciate
hook it up with Tiana. We'll have you on one night very soon,
All right,
okay?
thank you.
Thank you so
Keep
much
up
for
the
your
great
time.
work.
All
Yeah.
right.
Appreciate it.
God bless you. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you for your service too.